Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us here at the Westmarch Workshop, episode 54. We need a hero because we've got nothing. I don't know. There's just, again, I know we've been harking on this for the past couple weeks, but Diablo news is scant lately, so we can talk about Diablo-related news in another game.
Spoiler
And
alert.
spoiler alerts, yeah. And of course, we are going to be joined here by Lieutenant Lunatic. He's a writer here for BlizzPro. You probably have seen a couple of his articles. And so, but before I go on, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Yeah, I feel like I need some like an intro song or something. I don't know, like maybe something like Paula Abdul or Beastie Boys.
And
It's-
here, I figured that
it-
you might have gone with Bonnie Taylor, given the title of the show.
oh man, that would have been too woody though, and I don't feel like I'm woody enough to like just bam there.
Hmm.
There, that's something really funny. So, well, thank you for bringing me on board. I like podcasting. I'm pretty new at it, but I like it because I don't have to like wear pants or anything, and I'm still on video, and so it's kind of nice.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Yep.
thanks for bringing me on. I'm excited.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. And like I was saying, Lieutenant Lunatic here, he's a contributor over at blizzpro.com. He helps us out with a lot of the Diablo content on the website. He's also an officer in the Westmarch Workshop clan. So if you ever had your application declined, it's him, not me
It's my
or
fault.
Leviathan. It was his fault after
Yep.
Archon, because you can always hashtag blame Archon.
And actually, anytime anyone tries to talk in clan chat or anything like that, I just tell them to shut up because I don't like seeing anything in the clan chat. I don't like anyone bothering me. No, completely kidding. Not like that at all. But yeah. So I'm an officer in the clan chat. Run. I'm a writer for BlizzPro. Run the Transmog Tuesdays. So I don't know if anybody. That's what I started at when I came on board with BlizzPro a few months ago. Probably I don't know, it's been like 4 months now or so.
Yeah,
So
a
I
bit
write
of
a
a
bunch
yeah.
of random articles as well
Hmm.
across all the other Blizzard games.
See that
But
that's how we get you in. It's like, oh, do you want to just like write like a nice little like weekly article type thing? Yeah,
oh
sure.
yeah,
Okay. Oh, if there's this breaking news, could you write up something about it? Oh, there's this press event going on. Can you throw up an article about it? Hey, there's something on the World of Warcraft site. Could you post something about that? And then
yeah.
next thing you know, yeah.
And then when you tell the JR, who's the head of BlizzPro, that hey man, like let me know what you need help with. He doesn't like if you tell him that, you better mean it because he will give you work to do.
Hmm.
So I definitely have my hands full, just a lot of editing and a lot of behind the scenes stuff with BlizzPro as well. So I'm having a good time. Having a good time.
Which is the important
So
part.
that's the important part.
Yep. But
So
besides like the back end stuff and such, what tell me, what have you been up to in the gaming world lately? Have you? It's been Diablo. Have you been playing anything else? What's been going
oh
on?
my goodness. All right. So well, lately I've been playing Diablo. I've been playing quite a bit of Diablo. Earlier this week I main a demon hunter right now this season.
Best choice.
Yes. Spoiler alert, I should say I mained a demon hunter this season
Uh-oh.
because I was running some greater rifts earlier this week and waiting for my fellow friends to get on. Mr. 3 Days, he was getting ready to log on, and I don't remember a few other guys. And I was just running them, and all of a sudden, my guy just disappeared, and I was like, "Oh, he's dead." So lost my demon hunter. It's the first time I've lost like a main character since I think before. I feel like I lose a lot of characters, but it's the first time I've lost a main character since before seasons started. So
Hmm.
um, it was a big hit, but I leveled up a Crusader this week. So actually, it was prior to playing Heroes of the Storm, but leveled up Crusader. Then you and DJ Tyrant from Blizz Pro in 3 days, and our buddy Blaze and Dread Scythe. But like, I feel like everyone has just been shuffling in and out. But you guys all got me addicted to Heroes of the Storm the past like 3 or 4 days.
Good. Good.
So That's yeah, it's gonna be a big trek because I have no idea what I'm doing.
Uh, 3 days wants you to tell everybody where you were when your character died.
Oh, I don't need to talk about that. No, I was all right. It's
It wasn't
all right.
a trying situation, was it?
I will. All right. Uh, all right. Thanks for calling me out 3 days. I was I was in the realm
I
of
don't want
trials, and I think that's the thing. That's why I died because I was like, I wasn't taking it seriously. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get, I'll get a four greater at 40 key, um, and I like I. I think the highest I had done before that was like 38 or something like that.
to.
And I haven't been pushing greater rifts like real hard this season, but I was like, all right, I'll do some. I've been doing a lot of achievement hunting this season, so um, I was doing some greater rifts, and I died in Realm of Trials. I'll say it.
Hmm.
All right, there it is.
Don't worry. Steven died in the realm of trials too, so you can share
Did
that
he?
misery together. Yeah,
Yeah.
he lost one of his crusaders earlier in the season.
Oh,
Or what?
see?
No, it's no. Sorry, not earlier in the season. He lost one of his crusaders in the previous season. To there.
Yeah. Wait,
Yeah.
so was it a non-seasonal character?
No, it was during
Okay.
it was during season two.
Okay. Because if it
Hmm.
was a non-seasonal character, then it just wouldn't make me feel any better. Because
Yeah.
I was playing a non-seasonal earlier today with some achievements, and I was like, I could lose this guy and just not even care.
Yeah.
But
I've noticed that season three has been like the season of death. Like you mentioned, that it's the first time that you've lost your main character for a
hmm
while. This is like the first character that I've had died in forever. It's
yours was before the season 1 too, wasn't it, or
yeah,
something?
yeah. I lost my last character was a demon hunter that died prior to 2.1.
Yeah, I remember being on raid call with you when you lost earlier this
Hmm.
season. You were like, just all of a sudden there was silence coming
You
from
and then
Neinballs.
you were in the game when I lost the second one 30
Yeah,
minutes later.
I wasn't gonna bring that up, but but yeah, I was in the game for the second one, but
Hmm.
the first one you were just like, uh, and then I see it pop up in chat, and I just hear the stuttering. I'm like, no.
Yeah. Uh,
Oh
sad
man.
times. Sad times.
So
Um,
wait, what can you do with hardcore, right? There's
yeah, it's
gotta have fun with it.
it's what you sign up for.
That's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been my week in gaming. I've been doing like today. Today I got like I don't know. I was starting to get into that no news lull and like like what else is there to do, blah blah blah. But like today I started doing some achievement hunting, and I was doing some a few weeks ago too. But today like I cranked out a ton of achievements, and it felt good. And I feel like I'm like pumped up to play again right now. Like I was playing
Hmm.
right up until you were like, "Hey, are you ready?" I'm like, "Okay, let me finish this really fast." I've got to find rare cave bats, and then I'm good with the
Yeah.
challenges.
I'm
And
gonna
so,
let you finish, but this is one of our topics that we're going to be discussing later.
oh,
So
achievements?
no, just what to do
Oh,
in the
yes,
season lull.
yes,
So
yes,
yeah,
you're
well,
right.
yep. Before we segue our way into another part of the conversation,
Yes,
at
yes.
least.
So, yeah, so your week in gaming though. How was your week in gaming? Let's hear about it.
My week in gaming, I finally got my monk to level 70. I know this has been a journey that I've been. It took me like an hour to get to 60, and then it took me 3 weeks to get to 70 because it's just I'll log on, I'll like do a level, and then I've got something else to do. I either go back to playing the demon hunter for a little bit, or people want to play heroes or something along those lines. So I finally got the monk to 70, but I've been playing so much of Johanna and heroes that I now want to level up a crusader.
I heard you say that the other night. How similar is it? Let's ask that.
Uh-huh. I mean, you've got punish and condemn, and they both work exactly how you think, except punish is an AoE, which would,
Okay.
make it amazing in Diablo if punish was an AoE. But yeah,
Yep.
it's a lot of fun. It's been making me want to actually go through level one up and play one a little bit seriously. I have non-seasonal level 70 Crusader, but I just didn't put any work into it. I leveled it up to 70 to say that I leveled it up to 70, and then went back to my one true love, the Demon Hunter. But now, yeah, there's a little itch there that I've been needing to scratch.
Yeah, you and I are. I feel like you and I are always like in sync with like class
Mhm,
wise, because like season 1 we both played Demon Hunters. Season
mhm.
two, is that correct?
Yeah.
Season 2, we both played Witch
Witch Doctors,
Doctors.
and then we're both on the Demon Hunter kick again. And then next
Yep.
season, I was already planning on it, but now it's reinforcing it even more. I want to play a Crusader.
Okay. See, well, because like right now, because I just started a Crusader, and like you, I leveled one up to 70 just to say that I did it and have the achievement, and I
Hmm.
haven't really touched it since. And so now I'm just now starting into it, and so far so good. I'm like T1 right now, but yeah. So it's kind of funny how like in sync you and I are. There, like I don't know what I'm gonna play next season though.
Hmm.
So
Well,
maybe we'll.
when you know what they say about gamers, when you play together, your cycles go in sync.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Yep.
true. Speaking of which, I'll be right back. I'm just kidding.
um, but yeah, I guess moving on, like I mentioned earlier, and in the past two episodes, don't really have a lot of news to talk about. We've had absolutely zero from the dev team as far as new infos go. I imagine that means that they're slaving away at something, and that they'll have. Hopefully, we'll have something to share sometime soon. Maybe the Play Your Way stream coming up next week, which we uh, this was a very interesting Play Your Way vote. All the previous Play Your Ways before, you actually got to see the results as you voted, so you could actually click and see who was winning. And what normally happened is there would just be one class that was way out in front of everybody else because
Yeah.
there's that mentality people don't like to waste their votes, so they just vote for the winner.
Yep.
And then so it really is once one of one of the classes takes off, then that's just the one that wins. But this time you couldn't see it. You couldn't see who was winning. You had to vote blindly, actually vote for your favorite or the one that you wanted to see. And it was a close one, like really close. The monk and the demon hunter both scored in at 31% of the votes. And I was talking with Nevelistus about it. The monk won by 10 votes.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yep. So the speed of the lightning ninja monk won. Well, we of course are going to have to wait for the confirmation, which should probably come out tomorrow, of who it is that's actually going to be playing, because we've had it so many times in the past where the winner couldn't make it for the stream, so they then went to one of the runners up to actually get them on the show. So we'll have to check and see. But I'm really interested in seeing this monk build, go through. It's the remnant of the 10,000 storms. It's one of the new hot builds that are out there. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, I'm excited because they don't have like videos on them, and so yeah, I'm excited to see like how it plays. Like I was looking at, I I completely dumbed out, and was looking at, I was thinking that the barbarian won this week. So I've been like looking at that Stone Age barbarian that they just posted. Like, uh, I don't, when was it? I don't. It was on their front page or whatever, and so
I
I've been
think it
looking at that
was,
one.
I think it was
It's been a
just,
while. It's been up there for a while.
yeah. I think the winner was, yeah. I know the barbarian was one of the first ones that got posted. Or no, barbarian I think was week 3. So it's been out there for a couple weeks, and then the winner was just posted yesterday, I believe, or the day before.
Okay,
Yep.
I'm
But
dumb.
so we'll be interested in seeing if we have any information coming out 2.3 from that stream. We might not even get a developer. We might get one of the tech guys or an artist again. But hopefully we'll get some inkling of information within the next couple months. But not a couple months, couple weeks, couple months, and we'll be at the end of the season.
Yes.
Oh, sorry for slip of the tongue there, but one of the interesting things that we did, get one of the blue posts. Tyvleer on the forums was going through and talking about the goal for season 3, that they're still aiming for 4 months. Or at least they're saying they're still aiming to be at least 4 months long. It means it could still go longer, but it's nice to hear that they're kind of like reiterating that promise that they would like it, to be somewhere within that time frame. The phrasing makes me think we'll probably be towards the end of August, maybe closing in on 5 months. But with all the stuff coming into patch 2.3, it's not terribly surprising. We might even get another season two, like a little 2 month season coming in the interim just to give them a little bit more development time.
Yep. So how are you feeling so far with the idea of a 4 month, at least 4 months, um, possibly slightly longer?
Um, you know, very early in season three, we had Wyatt Chang, and that was one of the questions that got asked. And I said I was fine with a 4 month long season.
Yep.
Now that we're 2 months in,
Yep.
I want
2 months
to,
today, right?
yeah, I want to reassess my statement. It's one of those that we're 2 months in, and season two just felt way too short.
It
And
did.
it,
It
it
did.
almost seems hypocritical to say that now it seems too long, because I definitely don't want a 2 month season. And it's like, well, if I'm already feeling the lull and it dragging out, you know, at 2 months, why would I ask for, like, say, a 3 month season? And the idea behind that is we're at the halfway point right now,
Yep.
and we know that we have two more months before the end of the season. Not, bearing any new content or anything like that, we're at least 2 more months before the end of the season. And we might just get a mini patch, another mini season after that. But it's just the fact that it's 2 more months instead of
Yep.
1 more month. That you don't yet have that rush to try and finish up any goals that you had for the season. You're not. I've got plenty of time to reach Greater Rift 40 solo. I don't have to really work on it right now. I can log on, for like an hour a day or once every couple of days, knock out a couple Greater Rifts, farm some gear, re-roll some stuff, and I'm fine. Once we get a couple weeks out from the end of the season, then I can really start putting in focus. So it kind of brings you back. You're not as invested in the season as you are at the beginning or at the end, is that lull in the center, which no matter how long the season is, if you
You're
know
gonna
how
have.
long if you know how long it's going to be over the entire course, the middle is always going to be into a lull where I don't really need to play that much right now. I can find something else to do.
Right. That's what I was thinking. Because I mean, like, if we look at it, like, 2 months sounds like, everyone's like, oh, 2 months. But I remember at the end of the season too, I was like, I'm not done. Like, I'm not done hitting my goals or anything like that. And right now, I mean, if it would be 2 months, it would be done today. And like, I'm not ready to be done with season three, start over, start a new character, like start everything anew. Like maybe another month from now, I could, like if they were to say, hey, like you got one more month, it's been 2 months so far. Like personally, I think a 3 month, like 2.5, 3 months would be good. 3 months would probably be my preferable length, but like yeah, I'm not ready to be done right now. Like,
Hmm.
even though it's not like I'm like not everyone's in the super thick of things right now. Like the clan's kind of quieter than it is at the beginning or at the end. But like, yeah, I'm definitely not ready for it to be over right now by any
Hmm.
means. So
Yeah. So now it's pretty much just going through and addressing, what is there that can be done while we're kind of entering this lull, as you were mentioning, and I, so politely cut you off at the beginning of the show. You've been
I
achievement
just didn't want to know
hunting.
what I had to say.
Well, there's that too. Yeah, but yeah, just go ahead and finish your thoughts, about going and wanting to do the achievement hunting here in the middle because you have time to go and do it.
Yeah, well, so like, I mean, I think that when I like the idea of what is there to do in Diablo is kind of like I feel like a lot of people are thinking, this is getting to be a long season, or like this is getting boring because uh, I don't feel like pushing greater rifts anymore. But I feel like there's so much more that can be done just outside of hunting for gear um, and looking for greater rifts, and that's it. Like I feel like, and so that's what like I was trying to kind of think, like, okay, what else can what else can I do rather than you know go greater rifts or just run through T6 riffs just like over and over. Like, what else can I do? And I enjoy achievements wherever I'm at, like whatever game I'm playing. But I don't know. I feel like that's like something that really big that you can do, like in a lull of a season, is just look through your achievements and say, okay, this is something I can quickly do. This is something I can do. And once you start doing them, it's really like I find it very fun just because it's something completely different than, um, what you might normally be doing in game.
Hmm.
Um, like the co-op, like there's co-op achievements, for example. You grab a friend and run through Act 5 and get all the co-op, all the events and things like that. Or like today I had to I realized there was something for my barbarian that I didn't have, was like cast avalanche 6 times in 1 minute. So I had to like completely grab one of my non-season barbarians, completely respec him, like all the skills and everything, and figure out, okay, what do I need to do to like get this thing, this achievement. And like I don't know, it's just like it's fun just to
Hmm.
try something different. And so um, that's what I did. I did a lot today. I did it a little bit a few weeks ago, and I'm gonna be trying to. I'm at 93% achievements right now, and we've got two people ahead of me in the clan right now, Shepherd and Lala. And
Hmm.
so I whispered
And
Lala today. I was like, I'm coming, I'm coming.
good luck catching up with either one of them.
I know it. I think
Hmm.
I was stalking Shepherd today, and I think he's got like all but like 100 bounties left or something like that, and he's got all of them. So I'm like, I'm not gonna catch him. I might catch
Hmm.
him to 100%, but yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen. But
Yeah. Well, best of luck to you in that endeavor, because I know both of them are hardcore with both. Well, I know Lala is hardcore with a capital H into the achievements, and Shepard, that is definitely that's one of his things. And if anyone
yeah,
is in the Blizz Pro clan, everybody knows Shepard. Everybody loves Shepard. Can't have anything against the guy.
I like to give him a lot of crap, but I do love Shepard.
Hmm.
I like to give him a lot of crap because he is softcore with lowercase c
Yeah,
or lowercase s. But
we know how to spell here. Don't worry. The Og Childs will flow
C
through
C
you.
C S.
Hmm.
Childs.
Ah,
Yes. So
yeah.
I think that's one of the something really fun that you can do like in the middle of like the lull of the season. Like I don't know what else, like what do you think, Neinball? Like what else is there? What else out there
No,
could we?
one of the things that I actually have been doing the past couple of days, um, is I've been going back and rewatching all of the old cinematics, not just from D3 but also D2. And let me
Yes.
tell you, those are
Sweet.
nostalgia trips.
Oh man.
Uh-huh. Just
What's your favorite? Okay, what's your favorite cinematic?
uh that
Sorry,
is
I
hard.
put you on the spot.
Yeah, that one's hard to say. I've never really like ranked them too much on like which ones are my favorites. There is the end of I should say the beginning of Act 2, always into the east. I
Oh,
I
for Diablo 2.
Yeah, for Diablo 2. Because if anyone mentions the direction east, that just flows from my lips every time. Um, like no matter what, that is a quote that's just ingrained into my psyche.
That's when
Uh,
they're like walking across the sands, like kind of silhouette,
yeah.
right? Oh, I
Hmm.
love that. I love that cinematic.
There's so many just like it. And just going back and looking at it, in 2001, 2002, and like these are the greatest cinematics you've ever seen. You
Oh
go
my
back
gosh.
nowadays and you look at it, and it's like,
They're
well,
still really good,
they're
but
they're
I mean,
good, but yeah, it's just like
they don't compare to like
I remember this being super realistic. Not
yo.
anymore. It's
Yeah,
just.
I remember sitting there as a kid when I in my room. I don't know why, but I would turn all the lights off when I would play Diablo 2, and like I would watch these cinematics, and like I'm like I don't know. I wasn't like super old, but like
Hmm.
man, I was scared. Like some of those were scary. The
Hmm.
beginning of like Act 5, I remember when those imps are like jumping out of the fire, and I think I was a little bit older for that, but like,
Oh,
oh, that was kind of
oh.
creepy.
But that's actually the opening cinematic to D2 when all the imps are jumping out of
Oh,
the
is
flame.
it? I was thinking it was Lord of the opening
No,
for Lord of
yeah,
Destruction, but it's the opening for the whole thing, isn't it?
yep. That's when the Wanderer walks into the tavern where Marius is, and he
Yes.
has the acid trip to end all acid
And
trips.
he's like, Tyrael, and like his wings flash or
Hmm.
whatever, right?
Yeah,
Oh man.
it's also the beginning of Act 3, the fight between Tyrael, Bale, and Diablo was one of those greatest things. That was like one of those things that
Yep.
was like I guess I want to say an epiphany, but that's not the right word for it. But seeing an angel depicted like that and with wings, just like the bands of light as the wings instead of like the feathers and such, that still is one of my just favorite artistic recreations of what an angel
Yeah.
is. It's like that they don't have to conform to what we think that they might be when you say a creature has wings, and that he's actually using them as a weapon and wrapping them around Diablo's hand and yanking the sword out of it, and using them to fight was awesome, and something that I kind of will always be for Diablo 3. I think Tyrael becoming human, or at least mortal, not human, was probably one of the best character decisions for him, and something I could definitely see Tyrael doing given the situation that he was in. But the loss of his wings will always be one of those greatest sad moments that I have in
Yeah.
Diablo.
Cause
You
like
know,
like he was, man, yeah, cause he was like awesome with those
mhm,
things.
yeah, I you know I, of course, am sad that Deckard Cain died, but Tyrael losing his wings is a sadder moment for me than Cain dying, unfortunately.
I I feel like I would agree with that.
Hmm.
Cause I remember when, yeah, when it happened in the game, and I was like, he's mortal now. Like, I don't. I guess
Hmm.
there's probably not any going back to it. You could write that into the story somehow, but like, I would think there's no going back
I,
from that. And
as much as I want to see Tyrael and Angel again, from a story and a character standpoint, it would ruin all the progression he has as a
yeah,
character
it
for
really
him to
would.
become an angel again.
Yep.
It would not be worth it from the storytelling standpoint. I
It
just
would be
hope he
like,
doesn't die at the end of the Diablo 3 series.
yeah. Oh man.
If we go into Diablo 4 and it takes place a couple hundred years later, and it opens at Tyrael's tomb as the new Herodrum, or talking about some threat going against Sanctuary or whatever, I'd be okay with that. But I want it to happen off screen. I don't want to see it. I you know
I don't want to cry.
I don't exactly.
I understand. No, I totally understand. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
It's like if he went back to being an angel, it's like that's like one of those like cheating stories. Like, how do you get out of the hardest situation in the world? Like in a
Yeah.
story, you just say, "Oh, I was dreaming and I woke up and I didn't have to figure it out."
Next episode of Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and just like even going back, and I would not just the Diablo 3 cinematics. I watched all of the character intros.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I went back and watched particularly, even though Flux loves to hate the Demon Hunter introduction because it's just campy as hell. I love it. I enjoy it. Um,
It's pretty
but
stereotypical, isn't it?
it is, but I
I
enjoy
I
it
need to
greatly.
watch it again. Yeah.
The monk intro video because it has like the little B-roll afterwards that shows some of the skills. The old exploding palm that actually put an icon of a bleeding heart over their head in the gigantic explosion of blood that every single one of them was. That is something that I missed because I actually had the chance to play that demo at BlizzCon and see that skill in all of its glory that unfortunately not a lot of people had the opportunity to do. That's another thing that just kind of like for me is a personal nostalgia trip.
Man, I need to go back through and watch those. I haven't seen any of the class ones probably since the start of the game.
Yeah,
To do that.
yeah. So that's I guess like one of those things everybody knows. I love the story. I love the lore. So to kind of deal with the seasonal lull and not just being as invested in playing the game at this point. I've just been immersing myself in the parts of it that I do enjoy and that I do like. So when I go and I start up this new Crusader, I'll probably play through story mode before I hit the adventure mode and just take my time through it and play through all the quests, listen, go and do all the like the little conversations and such.
Yep.
Like one of my favorite things, there's the drunk in the tavern in Tristram. Once you I believe it's after you rescue Kane, or maybe it's when you go to rescue Kane, I think it is. Um, at one point when you go into the cathedral, I don't remember specifically whether it's you rescuing Kane or you have to go back in once you find
Uh,
the crown, because his text will actually change. His was it was something along the lines of I'm betting that you'll die in the cathedral, so don't let me down.
oh,
Yep.
I don't remember. I don't know if
Sorry for the brief interruption, but during the live stream, my internet connection went out briefly, which split the show into two parts. I had to go back and splice them together, so again, sorry for the weird cut here, but now back to the show.
I lore.
For the iTunes listeners and the YouTube watchers, sorry if this cut is strange. I'm not sure. I'll have to go back and check and see where the videos sync up there. But yeah, I guess as I was saying, I enjoy the lore aspect of the game. So when we're in the season lull and not as invested in the game itself, I'm going back and focusing on the things that I do enjoy. Playing through the story mode. I was going and talking about the the drunk in the bar saying, dang it, now forgetting where I left off. Um, as I was saying, the drunk in the bar at one point when you're having to go into the cathedral, saying that I'm betting that you'll die. I hope that you won't let me down. You know,
Yep.
just little tiny things like that. In Act Two, there is the noble woman standing outside of the inn, and she has the lone wolf protecting her. They start off hating one another, and then they fall in love by the end of the chapter or the end of the act.
Yeah. Little Easter eggs like that are
Yeah.
so fun.
Yep.
And
They.
that's what I like about across like I feel like all Blizzard games like World of Warcraft especially like
Hmm.
just any like little corner of that area you just find tidbits of lore and things like that. So I actually mentioned this to you um, before the show. I was going to surprise you on the show, but I am beginning to read through the books.
I'll act surprised.
Oh my goodness!
Uh-huh.
So I'm not far at all. Like I'm starting. I decided. So I did some research, and I know you've told me like 3 or 4 times. Start with the Sin War trilogy,
Hmm.
or start with um, I don't know. That I couldn't remember that part, but so I did some research, and I was like, all right. So where do I want to start? Like, what do I want to do? So I decided. Somebody made a post on the Diablo forums. Start with the Book of Cain, which kind of does like an overarching um,
Hmm. It
like
gives
kind
it
of
gives,
spoilers.
yeah, it does spoil some of the stuff in the other books, but it sets up the universe. You know the beginning of the beginning.
So like I'm not that far into the Book of Cain right now. Should
Hmm.
I change my train of thought and go back into the Sin War trilogy?
It's yeah, because the Book of Cain is going to tell you how the Sin War trilogy more or less ends.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not going to give you step by step details. And the Book of Tyrael spoils it even more. But yeah, I would recommend reading the Sin War trilogy before you read either the Book of Cain or the Book of Tyrael.
Okay. All right.
Hmm.
Well, I'm changing my stance, so I
Yeah,
will.
and this is definitely my recommendation. The Sin War trilogy is a good starting place because it takes place before all of the other books.
Yep.
It also just isn't the strongest books in the series. Mainly, it has to do with the main character is really hard to get behind. It's really hard to associate with or have any real interest in him. So for me, that kind of killed the rest of the book.
I see.
There's a bunch of other characters that are better, but when the main focus is on this guy that you're like, I don't really care, dude. You're kind of a a dick. It's just it is hard. It was hard to get into it. And this, I was
Yeah.
talking with Lala, another member of the clan. She's been on our season streams a couple of times. Uh, that she actually ended up really liking them, and so I guess it's one of those ones that if you go through and you like the Sin War trilogy, that's one of the weakest parts of the novels. If you like the Sin War trilogy, you're gonna have a blast with the rest of them.
Okay.
And if you
All right.
don't like the Sin War trilogy, then
Give it a more chance.
well,
Give more
it
of a
gets a
chance.
lot better from there.
So what's your favorite book?
My favorite book, I want to say, still is Moon of the Spider. The Order and Storm of Light are really, really good, but they're also, I guess, kind of to a different degree. I think it's just with those, it's a different writer, but I think he was also given more time to write the books.
Yeah.
All the other ones they're kind of like the Dragon Realm series and such, where they're contracted books and you have a limited time frame to write them. Whereas the Order and Storm of Light, I think they were just given more time so they could flesh out certain details in the book itself. They're just kind of
Gotcha.
given a little bit more leeway. The author for those was Nate Kenyon. Um, uh, we actually here on BlizzPro we did an interview with him. If you go and check the BlizzPro YouTube channel, you can check the interview that we did with him and Mickey Nielsen.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was about a year ago. It was right before the launch of Reaper.
Yep.
Hmm that
So
was a lot of fun.
cool.
Yeah.
So that's like, yeah, so that's another thing we can do like during the lull of the season. Um, I actually, I was just thinking about this. I wrote an article like things to do before season two ends, and actually a lot of these kind of apply to things that you can do right now.
hmm
Uh, And um, one of them was kind of an interesting idea. Is change up your group compositions. So like um, maybe like if you're used to doing only solo content or playing in a full party,
hmm
maybe take a look at what your best two-player composition might look like, and see what the leaderboards might look like for that composition. I don't know. I found that to be kind of fun. 3 days and I were planning that out the other day before I lost my demon hunter, but that's another thing.
hmm Yeah. Now you have to go through and look up all of that information for your Crusader. What?
I know it. I
Hmm
think I might with my Crusader. I know that there's like the suite, like the normal roll-in set, all that good stuff. But I think I might try the support Crusader. You know that they kind of do like the. I think they do a little bit of damage, but they do a lot of buffing for the other classes, which is
hmm
nice. So I might try that out. I don't think they're real hard to gear.
I'm sorry. Just comment in chat. All I know is hashtag blame Archon, Mikey for president, and hashtag Leviathan and Dog Chronicles. That last one just got me.
Mikey for president. Oh,
Oh,
Mikey.
you guys. Uh,
That's pretty funny.
yep. So yeah, there's definitely plenty of things that you can go through and do when you're in the middle of the season lull. Check out, like you were saying, you can check out, see that what you might be able to do to refine your gameplay to the next level. You can go achievement hunting. You can replay through the story, farm or go back to some aspect that you liked. D2 just had a ladder reset, fresh new
Oh,
season and
yes.
economy. You can go take a little nostalgia trip and probably only make it to Andariel before you go back to Diablo 3 because it's better in nostalgia than it is actually playing.
Yep. I
Um,
enjoyed your guys' conversation last week about Diablo 2.
hmm
That was a step back in time.
Yeah.
I think
Uh,
I decided I'm going to try playing those like as I'm reading through the books, like if I'm doing everything chronologically, I might go back to Diablo. I might try to go back to Diablo 1 and play through the story as well. I don't know.
well, that
We'll
would,
see. We'll
yeah.
see. It might be a little painful.
Do you like moving fast?
I
Because
do.
that is not something you can do in
No.
Diablo. That
It's
was
been a long time since I played Diablo 1. Like,
one of the major innovations in Diablo 2 was the run
was the
feature.
run. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that.
hmm
I remember that.
I think I have it sitting here still up on the top of my desk. When I was up in Orlando recently, I saw this at a used game store and had to pick it up. Just had to. Even though I have a Diablo CD sitting around somewhere. It's been so long since I think we've moved like probably 4 or 5 times since the last time I had it installed on
Oh,
my machine.
yes. I had to
Yeah.
I had to wait to catch up on Twitch, but I've got I think I have my CD still at my parents' house. And I think I
hmm
have the like I know I have like the Diablo 2 box. I don't know if I have the like I don't know if there was a Diablo 1 box. What like I don't know if I have that, but um I've got an unopened copy of Diablo 2 in the bigger boxes that
hmm
I need to get that for my parents. They're hoarding that stuff.
They're holding it for ransom. They'll
Yeah,
know you want it one day, and
I
when
know
that
it.
day comes, they're going to be asking for favors.
Yep.
hmm
Oh, Diablo 1.
Good times, good
Good
times.
times. So we will not be doing that for nostalgia purposes.
Yep. But yeah, it's funny that you mentioned Nevik in the episode last week, because prior to that, I was on Nevik's show, The Shattered Soulstone. Great podcast. You should also check
Yes.
that one out.
Yeah, they're
Um,
awesome. I love those guys.
yep. He had talked about, or I guess we had talked about, since I was on the show at the time, that there's no real PvP option in Diablo 3 unless you consider brawling, which nobody does. That
Whoa now.
Heroes is
Once a day.
kind of like the a proxy for Diablo PvP because you can play almost any Diablo character that you want now. Still waiting on some classes to go through and
Mhm.
be added in. It seems that almost he was like psychic because now that Heroes just went live. It's been in alpha and beta for half a year, and it's been open beta for like the past month. But it just launched last week, and they released Johanna, the female crusader, to coincide with the launch. I've fallen in love with her. If you've been paying attention to my Twitter, I've been tweeting about her. Absolutely love the character. She's a great tank, but she's like one of the only actual tanks in the game at the moment because she doesn't really do that much damage. She can take a beating, but can't really dish it back out unless you sacrifice some of your survivability. Not really too much of an issue, but that's kind of what she's there for, to get into the middle of things, engage, just to kind of knock people around with CC and crowd control and such. But I absolutely love her gameplay. But this we found out with this the Mayhem stream and press event over the weekend that this is just the tip of the iceberg. We've got a ton of Diablo content coming into Heroes at the end of this month and going further past that. It's kind of being shown it's the Eternal Conflict. It's a whole new Diablo map, and if I had thought
Yes.
this one through better, I would actually have something up on the stream with which to show you, but I'm bad and I don't. Um,
Preparation.
yeah,
No,
but
it does
it's
look really cool though.
yeah, it's got a lot of awesome stuff going on in there. You've got a whole Diablo themed map, which we saw back at BlizzCon. Actually, they showed concept art for it. It's actually now going to be added into the game, and we're getting the Butcher added in as the new hero.
Yeah,
Um,
that's gonna be pretty cool. Is he gonna be a warrior?
um,
I'm guessing.
he looks like a warrior. He acts like a warrior. He has the health pool of a warrior, but he's an assassin.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay. Big guy assassin. All right.
Yeah, big lumbering assassin. We were just talking about this on the Heroes podcast that I do last night, the Heroes Power Hour, which another great show you should go and check out.
So great.
Uh-huh. And the best part is if you're here live on Twitch, this is where you can find that show. We've now moved all of our podcasts to the Blizz Pro channel. It's already on the Blizz Pro YouTube site, and you can find us here live Tuesday nights at 10 p.m. 10 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. or sorry, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, here at twitch.tv/BlizzPro.
Yep.
We were going and talking about him that he has like the perfect assassin tool set. He's got a slow, he's got a stun, and he has sustain in the form of lifesteal, which is like 150% lifesteal when he attacks another hero.
Okay.
Um, his passive gives him increased damage, just flat increased damage that stacks basically the longer you live. Whenever you kill something near the butcher, it will drop a piece of meat, and he can go and pick up the meat, and it increases his damage by 1% for each piece of meat that you have, up to 25. And he has some talents that can increase those stacks and such. So he's got a very good tool set. Can't wait to go through and try him out. And this is apparently only the beginning. This whole Eternal Conflict update is going to be going on for a while. Some concept art that they showed off showed Leoric. So the Skeleton King's coming. He's going to be a new hero added in. I don't really know anything about him. They also showed in that same piece of concept art an angelic Diablo skin, as well as an Amazon skin for Nova.
Huh.
Yeah,
Amazon, like Diablo 2 Amazon?
Diablo 2 Amazon
Heyo.
replaces her gun with a crossbow and everything.
Get the necromancer in there and then we'll talk.
It That makes me excited and both scared because I don't want them to do a witch doctor necromancer skin. I want them to actually
Yeah,
add the witch doctor
that
into
would
the
be
game, or
sweet.
the necromancer into the game.
Yes.
But yeah, it'll be interesting. That would kind of I don't know how that would be received by the witch doctor community. That it's just like, yeah, you guys have just been a proxy for the necromancer the entire time. You know.
Yeah, I could see that.
Hmm.
That
Yeah.
would, yeah.
It looks really cool. I recommend that you all go through, give it a try. Heroes is an amazing game. The PvP is a lot of fun. I thoroughly enjoy it. It's kind of been filling my gaming niche for the past couple of weeks now that Diablo's kind of been in a lull. And yeah, it's also getting a huge. The next couple months is kind of going to be dedicated to Diablo in the Diablo series. So you don't have to feel like you're cheating on Diablo if you go and play Heroes right now, because we're going to be entering big Diablo string of things. As I
Yep.
said, they're going to kind of focus on one IP at a time. So
And you can
you
always
know,
go back and forth
yeah,
and play both.
yeah,
And
definitely.
actually, so what I just did like today or yesterday, in order to be able to go back and forth quicker, I actually, and if anyone else is having this problem, or if anyone else plays like League of Legends or anything like that, so key bindings in Diablo normally 1, 2, 3, 4 for your skills. I actually bumped all those down to QE and R today, or like a few days ago. That's really weird to get used to,
Hmm.
but I'm liking it a lot. And then what I do, because your potion is usually on your Q, I move the potion down to the D button, um, which is right on. You just basically take your pointer finger and just move it down,
Hmm.
and that's your potion. Because I believe that in Heroes, like I've been playing Malfurion, for example, and that he uses the D button or the D key a lot for his like to give people mana and stuff like that.
Yep.
And so I figured that would be a good key to get used to. Like, so if I'm used to that in Heroes, I'll be used to it in Diablo. And so it's actually been kind of nice because now I'm able to go back and forth and not have to like uh, get used to like switching everything around other than the mouse. Like the mouse is a little bit different, but um, if anyone else finds that challenging, give it a shot and like, try it out and let me know what you think because I'm liking it so far.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Do
There's
you
no
find do you find do you find a problem going back and forth at all?
Um, not really.
No.
Not too much. I do One of the things I do notice is when I go into Diablo, I'll, go into the game and I'll press Z trying to mount up.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, 'cause you
Can't
never
do that.
go. Nope, cannot do that. But otherwise, I mean, the controls are more or less the same. You're kind of in even though it's in Heroes is pulled out a little bit more. The movement's exactly the same. I guess it's you do have to draw out a lot of your um, you'll press the skill. You'll press, like, say if you're playing Demon Hunter, you'll press W for your multi shot, and it will put up a little cone around your character, and you kind of have to move it around wherever it is that you want to
Yep.
shoot before you click.
Yep.
So there's different. The skills themselves work a little bit differently, but otherwise you can easily transition between one and the other.
Yep. Yeah, you're a lot more experienced in Heroes than I am, so it's probably is easier to go back and forth.
Yep.
For this new guy that's trying to learn it, I'm like, hey, why don't I just make them both the same,
hmm
like exact same buttons?
And it's what is it, for anyone that keeps up on the Diablo community? I'm sure many of you know who Quinn is. One of the world's best monks. He's actually started streaming Heroes now. He's taken a little bit of a break because we're in the middle of the season. He doesn't want to burn himself out too much on the game, and going through and rushing for that, constantly having to try and reclaim that number one spot again and again and again. So he's taking a little bit of a break and he's streaming some Heroes, having a lot of fun with it as well. So it's something I definitely recommend. I mean, it's free. You have nothing to
It
lose
is.
besides like the 20 gigs that it takes to install on your hard drive. That's it.
I'm gonna go ahead and place quotes around free because I was like, all right, I'm gonna give this game a shot, and
hmm
I bought like the starter pack. You don't need to,
You don't
but
need to.
like
Uh huh.
I ended up spending like I think I spent like whatever like $5 or whatever the starter pack was, and I'm like,
hmm
well, I need this hero so I can have the mount or whatever from the
hmm
beta and blah blah blah. I'm like, well, I need this. So I've already spent probably like $20 and like so it's free
hmm
quotes. You
It,
just get sucked in.
Yeah, it only costs as much money as you're willing to put into it.
Yeah.
Everything in the game besides the mounts and the skins you can get with gold. So I mean, you can just save up and buy any hero that you want with the quests, and just playing the game whether they win or lose. You're getting heroes up. Yeah, every time that you get a hero to level 5, you get 500 gold. Even the
Yep.
10,000 gold heroes, or the brand new ones when they start off at 15,000 gold, you'll find yourself that once you start playing the game, you can afford them easily and go through. And there's a bunch that are like 4,000, 6,000, 8,000 that you'll just be grabbing up quickly. You can
Nice.
even, they have, it doesn't have a subscription so much, but it kind of does. You have the stim packs. I think
Mm,
everybody got a free 7 day stim pack or something like that, in the beta. Or no, it was once you get to level 15, I think you get a free 3 or 7 day stim pack, which the stim pack increases the amount of experience you gain by 100% and the amount of gold that you gain by 150%. It's like $10 a month to have it for the entire month. And if you're going through and you really enjoy the game and you like getting uh, like leveling up heroes, just getting gold and such, I think that is worth it. I've actually had the stim pack on my character for the past couple of months just because it helps with leveling them up, getting up to 10 so you can buy the master skins.
'cause you buy them a month at a time, right?
You can either buy it, I think it's like 7 days for $4 or 30 days for $10. Or,
Okay.
yeah.
That's not
And
bad.
no, not at all. And I guess there's one thing you can. There's one aspect of it that I really enjoy is when you get a character to level 10, you can buy a master skin. So you have the regular character as you know them, and then the master skin. A lot of the other skins are like, what would Raynor look like as Captain America, or let's put Kerrigan in a bikini and call her a succubus. Things of that. But the master skin kind of builds up on the power fantasy of the character itself. So someone like Diablo, he has a whole bunch of extra spines like armor that's riveted into his body, to build upon it. Just kind of like what the archetype of that character is, and you can only get the skin once you reach level 10, so it shows that you're dedicated. It's going to take 40, 50, 60 games depending upon the quality of your matches, how many you win, in order to get to level 10 on a character, in order to unlock it, and then you also have to pay 10,000 gold to unlock it. So it's
That's
not
what I
something.
hate.
It's I like it because it's not something that you can get by just going in and throwing money down. Like, oh, I
Yeah.
want the master skin. If you have the master skin on a character, that means that you sat down, you were dedicated to them. Like I said, you played 40 plus games on this person in order to get them to level 10. And then not only that, you've played the game enough to farm up 10,000 gold to buy the master skin.
That's it.
It kind of is, it really is a badge that shows that, I play this game, not so much that I spent money. And it's something that I really like.
Yep. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Uh, and this
Anyway,
just to answer a question here in chat. Pasta Doen Mulgor. I know I pronounced that wrong. This is about Diablo. We do talk about all Blizzard games. Right now, we're just kind of talking about Heroes because there's not a lot to talk about in the realm of Diablo. So we're talking about like Diablo content in Heroes, and it kind of tangented from there. So welcome to the chat. I hope you stay and enjoy your visit here.
and welcome to our tangents because we are good at going off
We
on tangents
Oh, yes,
wherever we go.
yes, we do. Yes, we do.
I enjoy
Well,
tangents. They're pretty fun.
they're always fun.
Yeah.
Let's talk about tangents for a while.
I'll tangent on a tangent.
um, I guess the last thing before we go into the community feedback is we actually kind of had a surprise post. I had completely forgotten about this, but last year they ran a huge competition on DeviantArt. Um,
Yeah.
and even though they had went through and they had declared the winner, and all that. The grand prize itself was they would fly the winner out to Blizzard headquarters, give them a tour of the HQ and around like the not just like the Diablo side of things, but the museum and all the other types of stuff.
Yep.
Um, and they finally went through and showed, and they had a video of that visit. Going and talking about it. It's like a 5 minute video. It's really nice, and it kind of is one of those things talking about it. It's like it gives you kind of like that feel that like, oh man, all this art is so cool. This is why I fell in love with Diablo in the first place.
The guys there are just so talented, and the video, like it doesn't show a ton of artwork, but like you can tell, like, I mean, I guess it does show some artwork, but yeah, like you start looking at some of the stuff and you're like, holy crap, like, yeah, these guys are good. These guys are talented.
Hmm.
It makes me want to say like, all right, I need to get really good at drawing so I can jump into into these conversations or whatever, or like into these contests. But yeah, it was pretty cool. The guy was, I think, is he from Russia? And they flew him in, and he
Hmm.
didn't. I don't think he even spoke English, but it was cool because like they still like like showed him around, and I'm guessing they had a translator with him, and um, he got to meet Mike Morheim and
Hmm.
all that cool stuff. Met the senior artist for
Yeah, I got to meet
Diablo.
Samwise and
Yeah,
yeah, and the not just like one of the senior artists for Diablo, but one of the lead concept or conceptualists for the Diablo series as well.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it must have,
He asked. He's like, when can you start?
yeah.
Because he was looking at all of his
Uh,
all the winner, the guys that won, had all of his art. That's
yeah.
pretty sweet.
And I mean, it's things like that that's actually gotten a lot of people started. They have one of the higher ups on the art side, Renee of Twin Cruiser. He and his brother started at Blizzard because of fan art. Samwise went and reached out to them because they just kind of like understood the what Blizzard art meant in the style and direction they were going that needed to get him to be a part of Blizzard. This was a long time ago, but yeah, it's like, yeah, that's just how you can get started. If you enjoy Blizzard games, you enjoy like, anything, just going out and creating, content or showing your passion, it gets
Yeah,
noticed. It really
it does.
does. Hmm.
Well, I mean, a lot of the Blizzard accounts, even I mean, they tweet out a lot of fan art. I see it kind of often, like Overwatch lately. Since there
Hmm.
has, I mean, outside of um, the gameplay videos, they haven't had a ton of news, and so they've been tweeting out a bunch of fan art that they have of their heroes, and I think that's awesome. So it's very clear that they look at their stuff. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I wish we had more to talk about as far as Diablo related stuff goes. But well, we'll make do with what we have, and I guess
Yep.
it's I'm somewhat thankful for kind of being shy on the news side of things. We have quite a lot to discuss with community feedback, so we can go through and start rolling with some questions that we went and got from the community.
Sweet.
Um, I'm gonna go through and start this one off. That we had a couple items that got submitted here and a couple questions submitted here that I'm going to be covering are from like a month ago that for one reason or another got ended up in the spam folder and got missed by both Leviathan and myself. We would go back and check and make sure that we got things to pull out to talk about, but some of these, I'm sorry, didn't mean to. So if some of your questions didn't get answered or your items didn't get used, one of the reasons might be because we were bad and well, hashtag blame Archon. Ah,
So right when you said that, it made me look. I just went through my Blizz Pro email just to make sure. I was like, okay, did I miss any people sending me stuff in my spam?
mm-hmm.
Nothing. I got nothing, so that's good.
Yep. All right. So, going through one of the first ones here, actually from a while ago, longtime listener, Cyberwolf. And this one makes me even sadder because it's a question about lore and just completely missed it. Uh, this has been a topic we've been bringing up for a while now. Just we're all expecting an expansion announcement sometime, whether it be Gamescom or BlizzCon. We're expecting one this year with an expansion kind of looming in the distance. And this one is just what some of his thoughts were on possible ideas for a D3 expansion. It all centers around like that, the end of days prophecy, which if you don't remember, it goes, and at the end of days, wisdom shall be lost, as justice falls upon the world of men. Valor shall turn to wrath, and all hope will be swallowed by despair. Death at last shall spread its wings over all, as fate lies shattered forever. Um, and
I
then,
think I read that in the Book of Cain today.
yeah, yeah,
Oh
that
yeah.
that one is in the Book of Cain. It's also in mentioned a couple times in the Book of Order, or the Order, not the Book of Order, just the Order, the book called the Order. I'll get it right there eventually.
There it is.
Um, and then it's just kind of a breakdown of what's going on from there, with wisdom being lost as Malthael leaving the Anguirus Council, justice falling upon the world of men as Tyrael, falling to sanctuary, valor turning to wrath is one of those. We know Imperius is the Archangel of Valor, and we kind of saw his that transition in the little short video we talked about last week called Wrath, which if you haven't watched yet, it's like 7 minutes long. Go watch it. You know, youtube.com/Diablo. Go find it. It's amazing. It is great. It's from the creator of Aeon Flux. If
Did you
you
say youtube.com/go find it?
did I just say that?
I
I thought
don't know. I thought you did.
I thought it
That's
was youtube.com/Diablo. Go find it. Um,
okay.
uh,
Say youtube.com/go find it.
go find it. Yep. What we have here, some of his interpretations was just like Malthael became the aspect of death, which we all know, and then Ariel become the aspect of despair. That one actually already came to fruition because hope was swallowed by despair. Ariel was imprisoned by Rakanoth, who was the Lord of Despair. Uh, so we've got Justice Malthael being lost, Justice falling, Tyrael falling to Earth, Imperius giving in to his hatred and going against the wishes of the Council, Hope being imprisoned by despair, Death spreading its wings over all and kind of blighting all of Sanctuary. The last part, is the fate lies shattered forever. His interpretation of that one is that humanity stands alone, and that no more will angels and demons influence or make it so that way humanity is kind of being led astray by one of the greater powers, and that we're going to be our own force to reckon with. And I kind of I kind of like that, but it's one of those. It's just the Fate Lies Shattered Forever is the only one that hasn't come forward, just because Ithriel, nothing bad has happened to Ithriel. And he's the Archangel of Fate. Where it could go through and say Ithriel can't see the fate of mortals, and it could be you kind of can interpret it that fate lies shattered forever because he can't see what direction anything is going, because now we're a major player going and doing everything. But I wonder if the next expansion is going to have something to do with is going to be, whereas we had something kind of focused around Tyrael and then Malthael, is Ithriel going to be the focus of the next expansion, or is something bad going to happen to him?
Mm, you heard it here first.
Yeah, so definitely some interesting thoughts going on there.
I personally, I did not even know who Ethereal was until tonight. So,
Yep, beforehand when you're asking me how to spell his name, so you could go and do a quick Google search.
yep.
Not throwing you
I
under the
f-
bus at all.
no, I, I, I admit it. I didn't know. It's okay.
It's
The
okay not to know. I forgive you.
With their stories though, I feel like it would be nice like in their games if they like would talk about outside characters somewhat maybe,
hmm
and that way like they could easily introduce them in the future and you would be like, oh, I remember him talking about that guy like in Act 3 of Diablo 2 or whatever. It'd be
hmm
kind of cool. But I guess like
Uh,
that's what the books are for, right?
I guess this may or may not blow your mind, but Ithriel actually is in the game.
Well, son of a gun.
Yep, you actually interact and take some quests from him in Act 4.
Well, then that shows how much I know.
All right,
All right.
there you go.
Now you threw me under the bus.
Now I'm throwing you under the bus. um, Another
Okay.
email that we had here is from Hernek, Hrnek. Hernek? Hernek? Right? I don't know. Moving
Hernick.
on, Ogchilds.
Yep. All
Um,
childs.
this one is coming in. We've got another European listener. Greetings from the Czech Republic. Um, he goes through and he loves listening to the show while going and playing his favorite game. And his question is, can you explain how damage multipliers work? He's seen some videos and stuff, but he doesn't quite have it down. But we've talked so much about Bane of the Trap, Bane of the Powerful, Zystone of Vengeance, and such. Damage increases from skills, passives. How does it all fit together? This one is a really complicated.
Yes, it is.
This one's a really complicated answer. I won't be able to answer it fully. This one will unfortunately take a little bit of research to go through because there's so many different sources. But all of these damage multipliers come down. There's two different types. There are additive ones and multiplicative ones. Some examples of additive bonuses is most class bonuses, such as Demon Hunter Call of the Week, which gives 20% damage bonus to enemies that are slowed or CC'd of some type. Um, that, even though it does add 20% damage bonus to any of the skills or abilities that you do, it doesn't stack multiplicatively with other bonuses. Like another additive one is Taiguk. So say that you have, you know, uh, a 15% damage bonus from Taiguk and a 20% damage bonus from Call the Weak. The two are going to add together to just give you 35% bonus damage to all of your skills. The different, the multiplicative ones, like the Zystone of Vengeance, and why you see that, appearing in more and more builds, is that as our damage figures are getting crazier and crazier, the
Yep.
fact that it is multiplicative as opposed to additive sets it apart from the others. So if you have that same, say, 15% damage bonus from Zystone of Vengeance, it's not going to give you a 35% damage bonus. It's going to stack on top of that. So not only will you be doing an extra 15% damage from the Zystone of Vengeance, it will also give you 15% of the 20%. So now you're going to be dealing 38% increased damage instead of 35. But kind of have to go through and look, what passives, what abilities, what talents, what items give an additive bonus, and which ones give a multiplicative bonus, and kind of go and get a feel around from there. But that's kind of how those two different ones work. They kind of all stack at a certain point.
And without like knowing the items well, without like saying, okay, I know this item does this, this item does this. Like I feel like there's I mean there's not a whole lot of a way to know whether or not they're additive or multiplicative. It'd be nice if like on the item that they put like a plus or an X like right before the number or something like to indicate to the people that are like, like really wanting to dive into like the number crunching,
Hmm.
somehow indicate, without having to do outside research. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah,
Could be.
it's one of those ones. It's I guess you can kind of get a feel for it. There's some like the Zystone of Vengeance is not going to show up on your character sheet. No, nor will Bane of the Trap. So you have
Yeah, that's
absolutely
true.
no idea how much it's actually affecting your damage. This one is going to be. I'm sure it's something that the dev team wrestles with a lot between wanting to give the players more information and keeping the UI clean and easy to understand. That's always something that you hear them talking about. You know, we don't want to overfill you with knowledge or information, but this game is just there's so much to know,
Yeah,
and
it's complex at its core.
yeah, and that's what draws a lot of the people in. If you looked at anyone that puts a lot of time into the game, your Jh's, your Quins, your Monstresses, and such, they're at that level because they care about these things so much. They want to know everything they can, and so they go out and learn so that way they can be a better player.
Yep.
You know, so that's just some of the things. That's just how the game is.
Yep.
And then he had just one last little PS there. He's gotten bored of normal season, so he started up his first hardcore seasonal wizard, and
Hey,
he's wondering how long she's going to last. I hope that you have a great play experience and that her death is memorable.
I would suggest if you don't want to be too torn up about the death to start leveling up another one while that character is still alive.
Yep.
Yep.
Would you like to take the next email?
Yeah. Um, so this one comes in from Mr. Manny.
Yep.
He says, first of all, he says he wants Flux back. So hopefully I'm a good replacement for Flux for now. Maybe Flux will come back sometime. I enjoyed the episode when Flux was on. He talked a lot of Demon Hunter. I appreciated that.
Yeah. I believe we are now up to 3.5 hours of conversation about Flux's Demon Hunter on the show.
It's multiplicative, right?
Every time that Flux's Demon Hunter gets mentioned, I will just add another 10 minutes onto
Yeah,
the counter.
that's funny. Yeah. So
Hmm.
so Manny also says he loves you. So I hope he loves me too. But he knew he was talking to you. So
Everybody loves you.
yeah. Oh, stop.
Aw.
So I guess we've already kind of talked about this, but his question is, what is the correct length of a season? What should it be? To him, he says 4 months seems too long. One seems too short. To him, he thinks about 2.5 months, 2.5 month season, and 2 weeks or so in between. So I guess we kind of already touched on that.
Yep, yep.
My thoughts were 3 months would be good, 2.5 would be good.
And that actually is something that we didn't talk about. That the 2 weeks in between, I think, is something
Yeah,
that's important. The 1 week in between seasons is a little bit too quick. You need a little bit of time to unwind. Say,
yeah,
I can take a break. I don't. Because your busiest moments is at the end of the season when you're trying to accomplish any of your last
right.
goals. Make that push for the top 10. Make that push for the top three, number one spot, what have you. And then of course you're just like full guns blazing at the beginning of the season because it's like the fresh restart. But yeah, I am in agreement. I think 3 months is a good target to do for a
Yeah.
season. The dev team kind of is targeting their development cycle around the length of seasons. Uh,
Yeah.
maybe if you do like a small item, like item balancing or item just infusion of new items one season and then actual content release the next season. So that way they have a 6 month development cycle and a 3 month cycle to go through and fix other little tiny things within the game. And you can always throw
Yeah.
something big in if you need it.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point. Like, I don't think they don't always need to be the same length. Like, if they needed like if they wanted to do a 1 month season once in a while, like let's do a 1 month season. It's like 1 month
Hmm.
out of the whole span of the game. Like, is it really that big of a deal if there's one season where it's only a month long, or if it's like 3 weeks long or something like that? It's not
Hmm.
that big of a deal. They're gonna get a lot of complaining, a lot of people excited about it, but it's their
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, pretty much. You can always do. There's a lot that they still can do with seasons. You can
Yeah,
you can have a season where no sets drop and it only lasts 1 month.
yeah.
So
And there would go all your itemization.
yeah, imagine what the leaderboards are going to look like for that. There's going to be a lot of complaining because you'll have some classes that with access to no sets whatsoever can only
Yep.
do like greater if 20, whereas others will still be able to do like 30, 35. But
Yeah.
I think it would just be interesting seeing some of the things that they could do with the game, like just a for fun season.
I would love that.
Hmm.
I mean, personally, and I'm probably in the minority, but I am not a fan of 6 piece sets.
Hmm.
Um, I guess that's like a whole nother conversation for a
That
whole nother
that
day,
is that
but
is definitely that conversation will lead up some time.
I am probably in the minority, so we'll
Uh,
just drop that right there.
yep.
So, yeah. So, yeah, okay. So, that's part of Manny's email. He said, lastly, have you considered making a softcore tune? As far as I'm concerned, hardcore seems way too stressful. Besides, my internet connection would kill me daily. Thanks for everything you guys do. Thanks for everything you do for us, Manny. So, have you
And
ever considered making a softcore tune?
I think about it sometimes, though it's for like more ulterior purposes. A lot of the content that Blizzard does, like their streams, the play your way streams, other things like that, is usually always softcore. That's what a lot of
Yep.
the developers and community people play as softcore. So I've always considered maybe having at least one geared softcore character so I can play with them on the streams and such should I ever get tapped again, because that was the one player way stream that I was on. Ended up being a problem because it was on the PTR and it was softcore, and it was I had a week and a half to try and gear a level up a softcore character to 70 and then get it geared to do torment 6 and like greater of 30, and it didn't end up working out that well. Spent
Yeah,
more
it's
time
hard.
dying than talking on the stream. So uh, I've always kind of felt maybe I should have something, as a backup in case, I
Yeah.
ever get to stream with Blizzard again. Knock on wood. Um, so it's something that I've considered.
So it wouldn't be for your main or anything like that. It would be for reasons outside of like the actual game itself.
Pretty
And that's
much.
kind of and that's kind of how I feel too. Like the only reason I would ever go back to softcore um, would be because like a lot of the clan members that I talk to regularly or things like that they play a lot. We have a lot of softcore players.
Hmm.
It'd be to play more with clan mates, but personally, like I enjoy playing hardcore because of. Well, I mean, he kind of said it himself. Hardcore seems way too stressful. To me, I like that intensity, like the not knowing what's around the next corner and having to plan for things, and it feels more real to me. Um, and so for like my personal reasons, I would not consider making a softcore tune. I did make a softcore tune today, actually, though, to get the what achievement was that? It was the kill 30 enemies with one grotesque.
Hmm.
And so you basically have to level up a new character for that now, because the enemies scale with you. And so I ended up just making one in softcore just because I was like, I'm gonna die a lot because I'm gonna have enemies surrounding me. Like, and I was right, I died a lot. Um, but that, yeah,
hmm
that's the only time I made a hard softcore character.
Yeah. Uh,
So,
yeah. Just
um,
for the sake of time, I'm gonna skip on to the next email here.
okay.
This one actually comes in from Lala. She wanted to go and throw out her levels, for the kind of like the ongoing quest to see, who of our listeners has the highest Paragon level. We're comparing E-peens, P-peens. I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll go for there. She is currently sitting at 595 for the season and 579 for non-season.
Yeah, she's
So
been doing work this season.
she has been doing a lot of work, and not just that, but the fact that for a lot of the season she's been raiding again in World of Warcraft
Yeah.
is another one of those. So she's been putting in a lot of work.
Well, yeah, 'cause she hit it. She hit it really early on, like hit
hmm
500 or whatever, like really early on. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah. She also put a little shout out there that she knows the real reason why Leviathan left is so that way he could go and make a ton of money on all the t-shirts designs that we had come up with or received. But she does hope that he's going through and doing the best, which he is. He's doing pretty good.
Yep, he is.
Yeah, and I
He's in a
think
good place.
yeah, he's in a good place.
He's in a good place. All
That's
right.
not ominous at all. Yeah,
We love Leviathan.
I think you got another email there to cover.
Yep. So this one comes in from oh man, you're gonna try to make me pronounce this. Solmir.
Um,
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. It says, "Hi guys, what are the chances of a new character in Diablo to be a sword master? Maybe academy train? Thanks for the super show, Solmir. P.S. Bring back Archon."
mhm. I believe that email came in from Denmark.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah. .dk.
Yeah. So yeah, chances of a new character being a swordmaster. That I'm not sure. I'm actually expecting them to do like another. There's a couple different trains of thoughts. A lot of people want a shapeshifter, which would be
Yep.
like another melee character, not so much like a swordmaster. I almost think that they'll do another caster or ranged class to kind of fill out the archetypes.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Like a sword master would be nice because they're. I mean, yeah. I guess you have like the barbarian uses a lot of swords.
hmm
Um, Not necessarily specializing in swords, but yeah, I was thinking shapeshifter, like sort of druid based. Like not saying that druid is going to be um, the next expansion or whatever, but I, that's kind of what along the line that I was thinking as well. Like something, I don't know. I think it'd be cool to see something nature related,
hmm
like like the druid,
Like the druid.
like the
That
druid.
seems to be the common train of thought.
Yeah, a
It's
lot of
like
people are
Dru
still demanding necromancer, but I think
yeah.
it's going to be too much like the witch doctor.
I think druids and scovos are the two most common things I see come up when anyone discusses the potential expansion on the horizon here.
But I mean, swordmaster would be cool though. Like, I mean, where this guy was just like swords are the thing, like where like with Crusader, like the flails are the thing, and like this guy is just like I don't know what his specialty would be, but so academy train would be cool. I
hmm
like that. I like the feel like you could bring in like a new character, like even it doesn't have to be necessarily even be a Nephilim, but you could bring in like someone like that.
Yeah, just someone that has like this like rigorous, kind of like this rigorously trained background,
Yeah.
like in even though we have the Crusaders, which are like they're like a holy warrior, but someone that actually is like, like a trained officer from an army or has like an extensive military background.
Is it similar to Templar military?
Kind of. They kind of are. Though
I
they're
kind of made
more.
that up.
Yeah, they are a kind of a militaristic order, but they just brainwash people.
Yeah.
That's kind
Oh,
of
that's true.
the
I remember that.
yeah.
So
Yeah, and we got another email here coming in from Blood Raider. He was sending in an email just saying that he's a big fan of the show. He just started a hardcore character, and actually just joined the Westmarch Workshop, or the Blizz Pro clan, so that way he could uh, go and have kind of like a hardcore community to play with, because the only people that he have a chance to play with is a couple of his friends. Now he has more people to go and play, and that he loves listening to the show, and I hope you have a lot of fun and find some games and some players, in
yeah,
the hardcore side of things. Which, speaking of which, just putting a little plug out there for the Blizz Pro clan. Um, uh, we are kind of full. We
yes, we
always we
are.
always keep a couple spots open, just in case, and we do regularly try to purge people that haven't been on, for about a month or more, unless they've sent in, an email or something saying that they are going to have an extended absence. But if you send in an email to Westmark's Workshop at blizzpro.com, let me know what your battle tag is and that you'd be interested in joining the clan, and then send in a request to join the clan. It's going to have a better chance at getting you in or pushing you up the line
Yeah,
for the people that we let in. And we're always looking for hardcore players. The majority of our players are softcore, but we want to nurture that hardcore community. So
yeah,
if you've got a lot of hardcore experience or a lot of hardcore characters, that will push you up even more so.
yeah. Because I feel bad because unfortunately, like I feel like there's always a backlog of people that that were not able to always like bring in right away. And so yeah,
Hmm.
like Neinball said, like send us a message or something, and um, if like we can like put some words with people's names and things like that. And it just shows us that you're more sincere and you have more dedication, to the clan. We like people that talk and that are friendly and helpful and um, all that good stuff. So uh, yeah,
Hmm. Um,
they need to up the clan limit from
yeah.
150. It's so
Oh,
small.
minor segue. They just recently upped
Yes,
the friends list from 100 to 200. So there's a lot of people that I don't talk with as much, and I've had to take off my friends list just because I'm getting requests all the time from people.
so popular.
Neinball 1259. Send me a friends request now because I've got a bunch of openings.
I don't know. I have no idea why, but I thought you just said Leviathan. So like I thought you were telling everyone to spam Leviathan.
Man, what are you here? Are you actually listening to this show? I don't
I
think you
am,
are. I think
I
your
am,
mind's
but it just
elsewhere.
like process completely different. Usually, actually, for the record, I'm usually in bed by this time, and so like, and
we
so yeah,
keeping
my
Are we
mind
keeping you up past your bedtime?
is yeah, seriously,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Um.
add
It,
nine ball, yeah, add nine ball. You guys, if you want to play with me too, I'm always around too. You can add
and
me at LT Lunatic,
and
1770.
Yeah, and then also Dread Scythe is going and mentioning in chat. You can always join our
Yes.
raid call, whether you're in the clan or not. We have the West March Workshop community, so you can chat with us in game, and you can always hop on raid call. We're channel or group 644 6420. If you want to come in and chat with us, there's normally someone at any given point in the day. There's someone hanging out and chatting in there.
Yeah. Anytime I'm on the computer, I try to get in there.
Mhm.
Um, there's a lot of rooms right now. We're gonna try to cut that
Oh
down
yeah,
pretty soon.
we're making some changes, make it a little bit more easier to know where to
Yep.
go. We do have one last email here before we get into the items of the week. This one comes in from longtime listener Scott. Thanks for sending in. Uh,
Scott.
he opens up with more of a message to Leviathan. And Scott, I just want to let you know that I did forward this over to Steve, so that way that he would see it. He really appreciates you taking the time to write to him. He liked it a lot. Um, Going into some other things, he had some questions about Rain of Vengeance, and he wanted to know what the best runes were for Rain of Vengeance because he just got a Crashing Rain, he just got the Haunt of Vox, and I guess you're a little bit tempted about maybe going and trying out an Natalia's build. I definitely recommend it. It is a very different game style from anything
It
else.
is.
Whether you like it or not, you'll at least appreciate the experience that you had.
Yep.
There's two really big contenders for Reign of Vengeance. Um, as you're starting to gear up, um, I guess like at the absolute beginning of the skill, I'm trying to remember, and I'm just having to go through and look it up. It's one of those things. I had the window open and then I closed it. You have Dark Cloud. That's your first rune. It will home, so it'll go through and it'll follow any of the monsters that are anywhere on the screen. That is a really good talent because it will always be doing damage to something as long as there's something on the screen. A lot of the other ones, not so much because if the enemy isn't there, it will miss them.
Yeah, it requires
Um,
placement.
yeah, it requires you to be a lot better on your placement, though you always have to be paying attention to where you're using the skill because the Crashing Rain will only proc at the first usage of the skill. So wherever it is that you click is where it's going to hit. So you want to make sure that you're targeting the elites or the thing that you want to kill. Um, from there, though, one of the more popular ones is Stampede. That one, uh, that that procs strong arm braces, which gives you a damage bonus. It keeps enemies pressed away from you, which the higher grade of rifts is really important because you can't really take a hit, so you need them to kind of be pushed back. It's a form of CC. It does a lot of damage. Changes everything over to fire, so that way it simplifies what you're looking for as far as the damage bonus for the rest of your skills. So those are the two most popular ones: Dark Cloud and Stampede. As far as your what rune you're going to be going for on Rain of Vengeance.
Yep. A
Um,
lot of it, if you're running like a speed build,
mhm.
like like with like your
The-
Natalias or whatever, almost always Dark Cloud, just
oh yeah,
because
yeah.
it takes.
If you're running the Danetta's version, like the Apocalypse build, then you
Yep.
definitely want to be running Dark Cloud because it will keep up with you.
Yep.
He had a second simple question: area damage that he knows a lot of people hate it as a stat. But does it help the demon hunter in any way? He's currently running Marauders at the moment, and he asked if it's good for sentries. Unless they've changed it recently, pets don't proc area damage. So sentries area damage is absolutely zero if you're still running Marauders or if you're using sentries at all. Um, it's there have been some people that have gone through and theory crafted it out, and area damage can be better than crit or crit damage in certain scenarios if you have enough damage and a high enough proc rate on it. But it's it doesn't do anything if the enemies are spread out. So depending upon your build or whether you're running in a group, you might not be able to take that great of advantage of it. And it doesn't do you any good against Rift Guardians, where the stat might be good running mid 30s, low 40s. Once you get into the higher ranks, or once you or go down to say Torment 6, it's really not that useful because you're one-shotting everything, so the area damage doesn't give you that much of a bonus.
Yeah.
Um, so it's one of those. Some people swear by it, most people ignore it. It has its places, but generally you'll just be better off making sure that you have crit or crit damage. Depending upon your build, you might not have anything to reroll on a weapon. And area damage is not a terrible choice, depending upon if you have the luxury or the freedom to, and you can always throw some Paragon points into it
Yeah.
instead of Gold Find. You
It's not
know,
gonna make or break your build.
no, it definitely will not make or break your build. It because it's basically it's kind of like it's free damage because but it doesn't proc anything. Pets don't proc it, so it can't crit because it's coming off of crit damage. Um, so kind of take it for what it is.
Yep.
Um, also another question. Uh, and is there any software that's small or free of charge that you can use to record gameplay so you can study your damage and effects? Uh, the what I'm streaming on right now, OBS is free, and you can use it to not stream but just record. So you can
Hmm.
go through and play with that. A free program. You just get record little videos so you can go back and rewatch them. Um, is there any serious high-end builds that use blackthorns? That I don't think so. I know a couple
Huh?
seasons ago there it could be used in some higher end builds just for the survivability, but I don't really think anybody uses it anymore.
Yeah, not that I'm aware of either.
Yeah, but please quote me if I'm wrong on that one.
I would
Um,
love if they revamped it, made it something cool. But
yeah.
I don't think they like the passive play style of thorns. So like I don't know if it would ever be like I think they were working on that, weren't they? Like trying to figure out
Hmm.
a way to do something with it without making it too passive.
Yeah. Well, some people in chat are going through and mentioning that it's used for a lot of ZDPS builds. I think he's more so looking if there's actually like a solo build that he can go and use for clearing things over greater rift, like 35, 40.
I don't know if I never used those for my ZDPS dock. I was always
Uh,
using like
uh,
Borns or Blackthorns or
yeah, and then his final question was just if we could go over like a Paragon point guide. And fortunately, there's not really a set structure for going through and doing your Paragon points. It's going to depend a lot on your build.
yeah.
Um, there's some general rules of thumb. Like if you're playing an int class, normally putting your points into armor before all resist. If you're playing a non-int class, putting points into all resist before armor. But those things you can figure out just by putting all of your points into all resist, or putting all your points into armor and seeing which one raise your toughness by more. Um, uh, Even though if you a lot of times if you put all of your points into like the HP percentage, it will increase your toughness by a greater amount. That's kind of a false number, because it's just increasing your hit points, not increasing your like real survivability. We used to talk about that one with Archon, like show after show after show. Generally, go for either all resist or armor first, whichever one gives you more overall toughness.
Yeah.
And then things like crit damage or crit chance, that is really going to depend on your build. There's
Yeah.
a lot of ones out there that you need to crit. So even if the crit chance gives you less overall damage than the crit damage, you need to be critting more often to proc certain things. You might even need to stack everything into cooldown reduction, like Natalia's is your best one to go for. For the final utility, generally life on hit is where you're going to be putting it, unless you're gold farming on a lower difficulty. Then obviously it goes into gold farm. Always, I guess one thing for that's true for all classes: always make sure your movement speed is maxed out.
Yep.
So yeah, that you movement speed 25%. Whether you have to max out move speed in the Paragon points, or you have boots with move speed or some other item that gives you that, you always make sure that that's maxed out, and then more or less everything into your main stat from there.
Yep.
But yeah, it really does come down to you got to research your build, and any good guide on your build is going to tell you how to arrange your Paragon points or what your
Hmm.
stat priorities are, and you can figure it out from there. I wish I could give a more concise answer for you. There just isn't one. The best answer is not a concise answer in this particular
Yeah.
scenario.
It's really dependent on your build.
Hmm. Uh, and moving on, we've got our items of the week.
Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-dum.
Yeah,
That's
so
your transition music.
yeah, that is great because actually I have no transition music now, even though I promised last week that I was going to get music.
No, we have it. I just gave it to you.
Exactly. We'll go with that one. So our first item here actually came in from Twitter. This one is from Kurova. He sent us in an ancient echoing fury. And the story behind this one is that he got it while he was playing as Demon Hunter, and
Oh
it's
my
like, what
gosh.
what am I supposed to? What is this? What is this? How do I even use this? Um, so I guess enjoy the free Forgotten Soul, or give it to something. I don't know.
That's
Um,
pretty good roll though.
yeah, it's definitely not a bad roll. It rolled 2,653 damage. They rolled with 7% damage, 849 strength, increased attack speed by 7%. You got the plus 235 XP bonus, and its property, the 12% chance to fear on hit. So overall rolls aren't too bad, but yeah, unfortunately, as a demon hunter, you don't really have a lot of use for this particular item.
Nope.
Yep.
But it's still a cool item.
Yeah, still not bad. I remember when Echoing Furies were like the end all be all for
Yeah.
dual wielding.
Yep.
Yeah. Our next item here is a wonderful Hellfire amulet that came from the Tides Awaken. He actually sent us in a whole string of items here. This one is a Demon Hunter Hellfire amulet. It rolled 20% lightning damage,
Oh.
943 dexterity, 10% crit chance. Had the health globes plus 37,000 health, and got Cold a week, and he re-rolled one of the stats for a socket. Um,
My goodness gracious.
yeah, that one just looks beautiful for an Unhallowed Essence build with the ball lightning and the quiver of the
Yeah.
meticulous bolts.
Yep.
That extra lightning damage on there. Cold a week either through your Bane of the Trapped or sneaking in the focus shots in there to try and get the procs or even just stuns or something to get the
Yep.
slow effect procced on the enemies there.
Yeah,
Very
that
nice.
build does some serious damage already, and then
Oh,
just
that
adding 20% on your amulet.
yep, that it does. The next item that Tides went and sent in, he sent in like all of his best um, Demon Hunter gear here, which he has his ancient Kreider shot. It rolled 3,244 damage. Got just a damn good roll on the base damage. He re-rolled the 10% damage, had 974 dexterity, reduces resource costs by 8%, 12% maximum discipline, and elemental arrow generates 4 hatred per shot, and
Yep.
with the
So it's like
Ramalana Ding Dongs for a socket.
so those rolls are just phenomenal.
I think
Like the 4 hatred, the 12 discipline,
yeah, I
the
think
is it 8% costs?
I think the only thing that really would have made it better is if the resource cost was attack speed.
Yep.
Yep. But absolutely beautiful Kreider shot. I am insanely jealous. I've been
I don't
playing
like this
around.
segment.
What?
I don't like this segment
You
because
don't
it
like
just
this? Yeah, it is
no.
painful because you just realize that RNG doesn't really like you as much as you thought it did, or
I'm
it
just like
likes you
I gotta
even
go start playing
less.
more.
Yeah, or RNG likes you even less than you thought it did.
Seriously.
And then the next is he's got a focus and restraint. Um, his restraint, he actually re-rolled dexterity into 103 to 207 average damage, because this is again going through and like doing research on your character, looking at what gives you the best damage bonuses. Is that even though these 4 items that he sent in, because the other item that we'll look at is his focus, everything he has is ancient. The average damage roll on this ring was more of a DPS increase than the dexterity was, because he has so much dexterity on the rest of all of his gear. So this is one of those ones, taking it to a spreadsheet, looking at a character builder, researching more, re-rolling your enchants, and playing around with different things so you can learn what is best so you can maximize your amount of damage. So there are certain breakpoints where average damage is worth more than dexterity because the overall bonus it gives you is greater.
Yeah,
But
that's impressive that he did like I wouldn't have thought to say, "Oh,
mm,
should I just do damage instead of dexterity?" I would have just done dexterity
yeah.
probably.
Uh, Continuing on, it also rolled 41% crit damage, 5% crit chance, 207 lightning resist, and reduces the duration of control and impairing effects by 35%, and came with a socket, which of course you knew was coming.
Yep, of
Yep.
course.
And then going and looking at his focus, he's actually saddened that he had to re-roll crit damage onto it. Um, yeah, he's still looking for another focus so that way he can turn that dexterity into average damage as well.
Do you have it up on screen yet? Oh, there it
Yeah,
is.
there
Never
it
mind, I
is.
see it.
Yeah, but yeah, it rolled 640 dexterity. He's re-rolled 49% crit damage, 6% crit chance, 205 cold resist, 7,000 life after each kill, and of course the socket.
There it is.
Mm-hmm.
That Zai Stone of Vengeance already up. There's
Yeah, a
60.
level, yeah, and a level 60 Zystone of
This
Vengeance
guy's
in
been
there.
doing some work.
Ever so slightly, ever so slightly. Our next one comes in from clan member Power Axes here. He's an ancient legendary quiver. He's got the Dead Man's Legacy.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really do much it doesn't do much for him because he's playing Natalia's, but still wanted to send this in because it is a nice drop. We rolled 966 dexterity, 938 vitality, 15% increased attack speed. Did get 8.5% crit chance, 10% area damage, 11 to maximum discipline, and then unfortunately the multi-shot proc only procs at 50% health, which that does go up to 60%.
Yep.
Yeah,
Uh,
unfortunate.
that's
It's
a lot
still
of. Those are a lot of good stats though. Like,
still a lot of good stats on that one. Should you ever want to try out an Unhallowed Essence build if you don't have a Kreider shot.
and Power Axis, if you can send that over to me if you want, and I will put it to good use.
I am
So I'm
sure
not
you
using it to
will.
Talia's.
Well, next item that we have in here is from Blue Right. He sent the
I'm not
Ingiom,
really sure.
Engine.
You're the lore guy.
Yeah. Just because I'm the lore guy doesn't mean I know how to
Yeah, it
pronounce
does.
things.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, this one, I'm sure. Uh, this unfortunately is a great item. It's proc rolled greatly, but this one is
Yeah.
more of a monk item, but it rolled with strength.
So, yep.
So luckily, it still has to go and can re-roll the strength into dexterity, should he choose. But it
Problem is he's
rolled,
got a socket on there
yeah,
already.
exactly. Oh no, that's right. He has to re-roll the socket out.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, I'm sorry. But yeah, 2,951 damage, 7% damage, 953 strength, a 1.3% chance to immobilize on hit, and reduces your skill cooldowns are reduced by 10 seconds for 15 seconds after killing an elite pack.
You know
Yeah,
what this would be good for? Would be that new Swordmaster class.
that would be beautiful for this new Swordmaster class, which is going to be based around a whole bunch of skills with short cooldowns.
Yeah.
Exactly. There you go. It's something to plan for the future, Blue Right. You heard it here first.
Save it. Save
Yep.
it. That is a good looking Ingium. I'm gonna say
Yep.
Ingium.
Ingium.
Yep.
Yep.
It flows better.
Next item we have here is from Kadalarama. Love the name.
That's
Throw
the
just
person's name.
just
I like
throwing
that.
that out there right now. Is an ancient corrupted Ashbringer. Rolled 3,297 damage. Rolled 959 strength. Reduces cooldowns of all skills by 9%. Reduces resource costs by 10%. 13% damage to undead, 11,000 health after each kill, and has legendary proc chance at 5,115%. And also, I want to correct myself, is not an ancient corrupted Ashbringer, just a regular corrupted Ashbringer. And he sent in with the question, what should he reroll on this one? The best thing I'm going to say to go and reroll is to take the reduced resource cost and roll that
Yep.
into 10% damage. You're going to get your most mileage out on that one. Corrupted Ashbringer is great for farming Torment 6, not really going to push you into higher Greater Rift levels because its proc is incredibly powerful if you can kill things quickly to keep it rolling, but when you're pushing the higher Greater Rifts, you're not killing that quickly. You're more on the slow side of things, so that proc doesn't come in to as much of effect as it normally does.
Still awesome weapon. I love that
Yeah,
weapon like that. Just the
yeah. Still waiting for the Frostborn.
that would be cool too.
Yeah,
I like that. I just love that they're carrying that stuff over.
yeah. Um, that little zooming effect in there. This one we've had
Yep.
our first joke item in a while.
I love
This one
this.
was sent in for just the name. It is the intensifying thing that should not be of the Great Hulk. Now I want to see that translated into German so we can have an entire paragraph for the item
Seriously.
name, because if you've ever seen one of those threads where they go and say who can post the item with the longest name, the Germans always win, and they'll go through and send something in, which is just like 3 words in English, but is 15 sentences in German.
I never knew that there were names like this that
Well,
long, and
this
this
one,
is amazing,
before I forget, this one was sent in by Jamie.
Jamie.
Yep. Our
Save
next,
that, Jamie.
yes. And speaking of German, our next items that we have sent in here is a couple of ancient Natalia slayers, and was looking for. This was sent in by Philip, and he's looking for a suggestion on which of the two he should use, because he had both. He kind of got both of them in a short amount of time and wants to know which one he should invest in. Before the show, I went and took a look at it, and it's the one on the right is going to be the better one for you. Um, what you will want to do, not only did it just roll like better um, base damage on it, it also has considerably more dexterity, which is going to help you out. Go ahead, throw a Happy Meal onto that item, and re-roll the area damage into cooldown reduction, and you've got yourself a winner. And that's going to
Boom.
be a beautiful item. Yeah, I mean, it already is beautiful. Uh, for the listeners at home, this particular Natalia Slayer rolled 3,273 DPS, 7% weapon damage, 983 dexterity, 24% chance dealing area damage, and 22% damage bonus to Rain of Vengeance with 10,000 life after kill. The other Natalia Slayer, still a beautiful item, rolled 3,238%, 3,238% DPS, 7% weapon damage, 848 dexterity, 24% damage to Rain of Vengeance, 9 max discipline, and a base socket.
Both good looking.
Yeah, both very good looking.
I have
Uh,
yet to find an ancient Natalia's, so I
uh,
would like either one of
I
those.
have one, and it's not that good.
No?
Makes me sad. The next item we have up here is an ancient corrupted Ashbringer.
Hey
This
yo.
one's been re-rolled. It rolled 4,402 damage, 10% weapon. He re-rolled 10% weapon damage. It rolled with 1,249 strength, 1,395 vitality, 15% bonus damage to undead, 6,000 life after each kill, and 5,940 for 9,000 5,944% chance damage on its proc. I will get through saying that and never come back to it ever again. Um,
Never say it again.
yeah, this one was sent in by Iotska. I,
Iotska.
Iotska. I'm sorry I butchered that name. Um, and of course had a Ronald McDonald Ramalodny Happy Meal thing
Yep.
put on there for a socket. But beautiful, beautiful
I think it's
item.
good looking. High
Hmm.
damage.
Very much so. And for our final item of the week, this one was sent in by Axe. Um, it's Mara's Kaleidoscope. Rolls 16% lightning damage, 97% critical hit damage, 8.5% crit chance, reduces the duration of crowd controlling effects by 40%, prevents all poison damage and converts it into 14%, heals you 14% of the damage done, and re-rolled for a socket. So beautiful, beautiful item there.
Yep. Good
Um,
stats on there.
yeah, and it's Mara's, which is considered one of the best
Yep.
um, amulets out there that you can get next to a Hellfire or an Eye of Etlich.
Yep. That's good looking.
Yeah,
I
very.
hate this segment.
Uh, most people do. Most people do, except for the people that have sent in items.
Seriously.
Yeah, they
That
love it.
Mars is beautiful.
Yeah, but yeah, that kind of goes and wraps it up for the show today. Again, thank you to everyone for coming out that joined us here in chat. If you're listening to the show on iTunes or Stitcher and you want to ever catch the show live, we're on a new channel. It's twitch.tv/BlizzPro. You can find all of the videos on youtube.com/BlizzPro if you want to catch a video version after the live show. And of course, you can find us on iTunes and Stitcher. If you have an item, if you have feedback, a suggestion, something you want to complain about, pictures of Jar Jar Binks, which apparently has been going on in the chat all evening.
Yep.
Westmarch Workshop at blizzpro.com. You can go through. You can always follow me at Neinball Gamer. You can follow the official Twitter at the WM Workshop. If you want to go through and tweet pictures of Jar Jar at me, which I've gotten a couple here this evening. Thank you so much. I appreciate any feedback that you have. Please, no, don't. I can't even continue with a straight face. No more Jar Jar, please. No more
No more
Jar
Jar
Jar.
Jar.
No
We love
more.
Jar Jar.
Let's let it die.
My wife
Um,
likes Jar Jar apparently.
yep. Uh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I
So
know.
sorry.
I can still
Uh,
change her.
yep. But yeah. And again, you can also hop on our raid call. Just go through install raid call. Look for the group. It's the Blizz Pro Clan. It's group ID 644-6420. You can find us there. Again, thank you, Lieutenant Lunatic, for coming in and joining us here. You can follow Chris here. He's at Lieutenant L or LT Lunatic 22 on Twitter.
Yes. Yeah, thanks for having me, man. This has been a lot of fun. Like I said, I'm kind of new to the whole podcasting scene, but it's fun.
Hmm.
So thanks for having me aboard.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. And we'll be looking forward to maybe getting some new news sometime within the next couple weeks here. Look forward
Yes.
to seeing you all again, and we will catch you next week.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom because I have been holding it for the past hour now.
And we will end on that note. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You got it.